Hello everyone, this is Benji from Stock Hours back with another trade review video. And this time around I decided to do a red trade to show you guys what it's like to have a red trade, what the emotions, what my thoughts, and all that process was during the trade. So you can see here we had this downtrend right here that we tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times and we broke out. This was the previous day. This was the actual day that I did the trading. We had this crazy push. I was aiming to play this high here, but we broke it pre-market, so we played that pre-market high here, and you can see it took, it ended up happening later in that day, the next night, and then the next day it had the big rally from 350 to 380 here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the 1 minute chart so you can get a little bit better understanding of what I'm saying. So here was that pre-market high right here at 339, or it was right under 339, and at open we fell pretty hard. We fell all the way down to 331 here, and then we pushed back up, and when we started pushing back up here is when I started watching this again. We ended up breaking 339 here. This was my entry right here. My plan was to hold that through the 340 break, which was this level right here, and then sell on that 340 break. My stop loss was going to be if we fell back below my entry point. Since it was like a high of day kind of play, I was just going to cut my losses early and look to re-enter later. But once I got into the trade, I got kind of caught in this big candle here. We fell all the way down, past 337, and I saw that it got bought up, and then this next candle flipped red to green and closed above this 338 level, and then I adjusted my stop mid trade, and that was really my first mistake of the trade, was adjusting my stop loss here. But what I did adjust it to made perfect sense, because you can see we held this level pretty nice, and I was waiting for a candle to close under that. So for me personally, I felt like the risk versus reward was there, even with my adjusted stop here. I could have took literally half the loss if I just stuck to my original plan of cutting below my entry, and that's definitely what I should have done. So moral of the story, always stick to what you have written down, stick to your plan, make it as simple for yourself as possible. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go into the live trading, and then you can see here, so like we really made that next push the next day. So now that you understand why I got in, what my plan was for the trade, what I adjusted my plan to, let's go ahead and watch the live trading video here. So you can see, I know there's a lot going on here, but we fell at open here. We came back up. I just showed you guys that. So we're pushing back up to this daily high at 338.97. I'm going to go ahead and play. We're pushing. I'm looking for 339 on the ask. All right, I'm in. And you can see we break here, and then I end up, I'm still in. I end up clicking the cancel button, and IBE gives me some crazy pop-ups, and I'm panicking a little bit to close out of those. Not really sure what was going on. You can see right here that that thing popped up. I hit the wrong button, made a giant window. But you can see I'm actually become pretty nicely green here on this push right here. So you can see I'm up like $100 here. The contracts are at 920, 930. My buy was at 863. So, and also on level 2, there's a wall here at 340. There wasn't one at 339, which was kind of weird. We normally do play the wall break, so the safer entry for this trade 100% would have been the wait for that 340 level. I'm not sure if I tried to take profits here. I don't think I did. I was waiting for that 340 break to sell. And like I said, that was worth it for the risk here. And you can see right here when we fall below entry, that's when I should have cut my losses, especially on the close of this candle. And that was originally what I was waiting for, but this ended up popping back up off 337 and closing above that 338 level. And then the next candle is what made me really like the 338 level. And you can see I'm down like 260 at one point. But right when this pops back up above 338, these contracts kind of adjust, and they hold up really nicely, and you'll see that in a second here. And here, what I adjusted it to made sense, but I definitely let my emotions affect my judgment here, and I didn't get out right away like I had planned. So right here, that's when I should have cut. I would have took a $120 loss. It really would have been no big deal. But I ended up staying in. This ended up falling even lower, so that would have been like my confirmation candle after the close to get out. My stop would have been hit. I would have took around $100 loss there, which wouldn't have been bad at all. But I'm still stuck in here, so I'm waiting. You can see this is the candle that basically made me decide to change my stop loss. And we'll see what happens here. And I'm watching the tape for buyers to step in when we're falling below here. I'm watching the bid to meet the ask. You know, I'm really just focused on reading the tape and trying to catch these buyers coming in at these levels. So you can see right here, we're still a red candle. We end up flipping to green here in a second. There we go. And right when I saw that, that gave me a lot of confidence in the trade to stay in and use that 338 level as my stop. A close under it, at least. So we held it really nicely there, and you can see I'm only down like 20 or 30 bucks. It's really nothing, so I'm basically break even on this position. And that made me feel more comfortable as well, so that made me feel like this was 100% worth the risk from my original entry. But like I said, that 340 break would have been way safer of an entry here. And so we're just falling below here, and like I'm literally just waiting for that candle to close under 338. I'm not pulling the trigger before. See, this one pops right back up above it as well. So that made me feel really comfortable with using that as a stop. So we're just watching here. You know, this just takes, you know, serious patience to be able to just, you know, not worry about your money and focus on reading the tape and just, you know, remembering what your plan is and just staying strict to that. So I think this candle here closed right on 338 or below it, and I think I'm going to I used the low of this candle as confirmation to get out. So we'll watch what happens. Well, we ended up pushing up pretty nicely here, and I'm only down 15 here again, so I'm break even on this trade once again. I'm just waiting here for this to break 340. So like the trick is just to stay calm, to just have those two outcomes, you know, being the only things that you're focused on. So you can see it keeps flipping back and forth here, and I'm watching the clock on TOS on my other screen to watch when the candle will close. So like literally on this candle, this is when I got sketched. This is when I was like, all right, I'm ready to sell. We kind of gapped down very strangely. We didn't really have any crazy volume spikes here, you know, and we end up like, so I basically told myself if this candle pushes any lower, that's going to be my exit. And I was watching the clock, and you can see we start pushing lower right here, and we end up cracking down right here as well. So I was just waiting for that close, and right when I noticed that the clock's getting close, I just pulled it, especially on that next push down. I went ahead and cut my losses there, and it was a great spot to cut my losses. And you can see we ended up falling here, and I'm gonna go back to that 1 minute chart, so you can see right here was when I cut my losses, is on this candle right here. And you can see after that we literally just fell really hard, consolidated, and then fell some more before later in the day retesting that and pushing. So, you know, it really just comes down to patience here. We can go here and watch, and you can see my stop loss made, you know, perfect sense to use it like that, to wait for that close. And I was happy with what I did with my adjustments to my stop loss. But definitely for the next trade, I will not be adjusting it mid trade. I will just stick to what I have planned, and that's what you guys should be doing. So thank you guys for watching it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions below, and thank you guys for watching.